Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Oh, thanks for the Patreon. Thanks for pledging $10 via Patreon, Michael Linovsky or Michael Linovsky. Thank you so much. Welcome, guys. Yeah, so today I'm going to try and finish this guy. The only major things that are left to do are those bandages down here. Still don't really know how I'm going to do them, but again, probably going to try and do them lighter to not darken the whole miniature too much. Also, I have a feeling that they won't be seen too much because of the way I'm going to build the base. Yeah, so I need to do those spikes and the details on the skin and all that. And yeah, just also finish the face, and then depending on how far we get, depending on how far we get, I'm going to start building a base. And I have a couple of ideas that I want to do. Probably going to start with a bit of a barricade fence here in the back that's tied to a tree or something like that. Yeah, so just wasteland battle scene, sort of like the forward barracks in Diablo 3 or something like that, you know. Hey Tuka, I messed up again. Thug up. How's it going? Yeah, so that's the plan for today. Again, I hope we're going to get to the base building, because I was looking forward to it, and I have already brought out a lot of the stuff that I'm going to use for it. So gonna build some barricades out of this, and this is not the best wood for the purpose. Balsa wood is probably better because you can detail it more easily, but it will work. And yeah, a lot of base building materials, down to also some of the leaves that I bought ages ago, and that I have now a better solution for. You know, unlimited leaf printer. So yeah, we're also going to try that. I have a few of those already made, but the thing is they are white, right? So probably going to use up these first, just because I have them anyway, and then we will see what we are going to do next. So that's going to be fun. Hey, how do you say that? Mjolnert, is that correct? How's it going? Greetings from the Canary Islands. Well, many greetings back. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the non-metallic so far. I didn't want to go for you know, too warm. I stayed away from the orange tones this time. Just black and brown in the shadows, and some yellow, some desaturated yellow in the highlight tones. We went a bit more saturated down here, but the main reason is to bring it down to, you know, the intensity of, well, being not really in the spotlight or in the focus. Guessing this whole thing is already rather busy, and yeah, we're going to try and draw a bit more attention towards the face. So we will see how that works. Yeah, then again, these little details back here, and then after the face is done, going to start with the base. Let's see how far we can get. Yeah, of course I have not brought out my colors yet, so let's just quickly do that. I need to try and remember what I did for for the skin colors, I think I remember, but it requires some digging for the right colors, because my system of keeping colors is not the very best. Let's see. I think that should work. Are we good? I think, yeah. Just gonna find some sepia. There we go. And then I need a gray. Ideally a blue-gray. Let's take some yellow for the highlights. And what else? Maybe some red for the shadows and for the for the skin. Red leather should work. Okay, there we are. Right, sorry for that intermission. So yeah, how's everybody doing? Anyone painting along? Give me just a minute, I'm going to stir my coffee. I don't want to do any noises on stream. So yeah, just say hello so I can give you a shout out. Oh yeah, and I hope you guys all saw the new Patreon video. It's kind of funny how far we've gotten with the overlays and the sound quality and all that. I totally forgot that this was one of the first videos where I still have that, I still have the worst sound, and I also forgot to take the audio out of the parts that I sped up. So now you have the whole my computer, you know, because the sound setup wasn't good enough. But yeah, I think it's only in the first few minutes too, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so let's see, what are we starting with? I think I'm probably starting with the back here, just so that I can finalize the tone of this, and for that I need white, and I also need black. Forgot to get that out. Oh, of course, we forgot that. Let's see. The question is, do I have it out already, maybe? No, here it is. Okay, there we go. They are not streaming with sound, with songs today, simply because I want to leave the VOD up on YouTube, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, you can let me know if no songs, no music is better for you or not, or if you prefer the music. Okay, palette cam seems slightly out of focus for some reason. Okay, that's better, and now we're good to go. Okay, so I'm just warming up a bit with some areas that are not as much in focus as the face, so that's why I'm starting with the area that is further back here. And I'm just going to mix, yeah, that bone color with some black. Hey Marina, nice to see you back. Hello back to France, how's it going? Oh, okay, I forgot one thing. I need some paper towels. Be right back. we might as well take a bit more water, because that's maybe not enough. He runs off every time I join. How's it going, Grendler? So yeah, you guys give Grendler a follow if you're watching from Twitch. Good to hear, good to hear. Yeah, I just had to get some tissue. I always forget that for some reason. I don't know why. So let's see. Where's my good brush? This is not my good brush. So this one, I used this one a lot in the past year, I guess. And that one kind of gave in already, but it lasted a long time. But you know that you can see that the tip is gone. I still use it for for when I have to apply a lot of paint to a bigger area, because it's, well, usually I paint with the side of my brush, right, to paint blendings and all that. But once the tip gives in, you can blend better with, you know, like this. And sometimes that hand movement is just better than having to drag your brush all the way like that. So yeah, sometimes brushes that have slightly given in are better for blending, but yeah, for this scale I still use my size 0 Raphael. What's going on here? We're finishing this one today, I hope. That means I have to do most of the face and this area back here. And then I'm going to start building a base probably for this guy. So we will see. We will see. So now let's jump into the painting. I'm going to mix, like I said. The palette's going to move because there's so much water in it, but a good wet palette needs that, so don't look at the palette too much, or else you'll get motion sick. Oh yeah, thanks, I'm pretty happy. And thanks, Marina, I'm doing fine too, just a bit tired. Usually what I do is I get up in the morning, work like 8 hours on my thesis, and then eventually unwind and, you know, just do something else with the day so that we don't have just a wasted day. We get in some creativity. Okay, so I'm going to focus on these areas back here. Applying most of the light in that area. That's maybe a tiny bit too yellow. Let's see. What are we going to do? Looking for some gray. Where's mine? A car. Can't really find it, but I got myself, you know, these agitator ball things for my scale colors. So now, when I shake them, they should be mixed even better. Well, even better is good to say, because they have not been shaken or stirred pretty well in the past. But yeah, just going to switch this around. Maybe this looks a bit less yellow. Yeah. Guess we'll just add some white and mix our own gray from that. Yeah, because this is too yellow. Me? No. I'm usually painting like 4 times a week. I'm just not, I can't stream it. So usually painting for the Patreon videos, that's all I can do at the moment. You know, just putting 1 hour of the day into getting more Patreon videos done. But yeah, why is this so shiny? Huh. So the crystal brush stuff, I personally think this year was a bit weaker overall. And you know, the problem that I have with the crystal brush is the online voting, because if you have a large following, then you know you're going to have a lot of votes from the online community. So I don't know about that. I also screwed this up. Didn't want to touch that. And yeah, I mean the people that won rightfully won, I guess, but it's, you know, whenever certain names enter, then it's always because they have a lot of following, and you know, it's okay, yeah, the first thing that we're going to do once the gallery is up, just post it everywhere and ask our friends and followers to vote. I don't know if I agree with that, you know, it should probably, I mean, everyone's kinda going to notice from earlier posts and all that who's yours, so it's never going to be 100% anonymous, the voting and all that. But you know, I think that whole thing drags it down a lot. So I'm not super interested usually in crystal brush, but you know, usually there's always good things to see there. Personally, I just kind of lost interest because of the circumstances, and also I think this year was not as good. One other gripe that I have with the whole thing is their gallery is just unbrowsable. I mean, come on, it's not 2003 anymore. So I wish they would do something with that. It was very surprising. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was always like that. I think it's 50-50 jury and online voting. Which, you know, I'm not accusing anyone, but it could theoretically also be botted, because, you know, sniping and botting, vote botting has always been a thing on Cool Mini or not. So yeah, also I don't know the coefficient, if it's really 50-50 between jury and online, but yeah, it still has an impact. Right, going to start applying the lighter color on some of the more high up areas. So yeah, what does everyone else think? Do you think Crystal Brush winners have been, you know, did the best ones win, or how do you see it? Did you have any other favorites? Yeah, you're just basically lucky to catch me live. I can't really live stream. I'm trying to stream twice a week. As far as my time allows, but yeah, probably also not going to stream any more, even when I got more time to spend on streaming. We will see. We'll see how it goes. I've always had issues with Cool Mini Not website. Yeah, so again, the thing is, I spent a lot of time there during 2003, 4, 5, 6. But eventually, you know, the problems just increased. At least from my perspective or my perception. And eventually it just get outdated, I feel like. But you know, it's still a good resource for stuff. But a lot of people have stopped posting there, so haven't seen the winners myself. I checked them out some later time. Been very busy, so I'm okay. I see. Yeah, the again, now that the winners are up, it's only like it's really condensed down and it's browsable. Of course, you don't see all the other entries, but before the voting started, or when the voting started, or yeah, you know, they have the finalists up, and I can't really browse that at all. It's too bothersome. Hey, half damage. I thought winners were beautiful, but I think there is a bit of an unfair advantage of those who do fancy bases, which is painting but also crafting. I mean, it has never been advertised as just a pure painting contest, right? It's always, I mean, if you can work with the surroundings, and you know, base painting and diorama painting has always been a thing in the miniature world, so yeah. Trying to create atmosphere around what you paint and all that, I think should be rewarded. It has gotten a tiny bit overboard, maybe, with only huge dioramas winning in the last time, you know, the last years. But then also, I think it was Sergio Cavalos. I'm probably pronouncing him wrong, so sorry for that. But his Space Wolf, you know, was basically a snow base, and that one definitely won because of the painting that he did. So yeah, but you know, of course, the base added to the atmosphere. And I want to say that there was just not enough good stuff that was just painted neatly, you know, around to win, from what I've seen at least. But yeah, the dioramas definitely have an advantage there. But you know, I mean, building bases is not that it's not that tricky, really. You just have to be brave, and maybe, you know, I mean, obviously, if you don't have a lot of time for the hobby, then are you going to invest more time into that too? That's the question. And I can see that, but you know, it's like there's $10,000 on the line, so obviously people are going to pull, you know, their resources together, and the pros are going to enter too and all that. So you're going to, yeah, you're going to get the best things around, and they're going to try to do the best out of the entries, and also try to have a huge impact. You know, I for example, that scene that where a lot of Nurgle or Rotten Demon stuff comes out of a mouth, the Dimensional Breach thing, I thought was beautiful. But the thing is, I don't know who painted it, but that person kind of got too stuck in the painting that he did in the back, and then didn't have enough time to get the rest all fancy. So you kind of have to think about how much time you want to invest. Crystal brush voting, in my opinion, is more to give the impression that there's a real decision by the voters than I mean, it could be. I don't know 100% what the factor is of factoring it in. But yeah, I mean, every painting jury, every, you know, painting competition always... Oh, let's not forget about that. It's always going to leave a bit of a bad taste in some people's mouth. And you can never be sure. I mean, for example, the Games Day Germany has always been about, you know, German painters that were known in the community and to the people that judged. I'm not saying that it was for everyone, but there was certain painters that just knew those people, and it was almost like that one episode where someone comes in and asks, okay, so which one is, I don't know, Mr. X's entry? Let's see that one right away. And then the other judge says, well, you're not supposed to know. You should be neutral to that. But obviously they recognized painting styles of people that entered there for 10 years and all that. So you can never be 100% sure that everything is is on a fair basis or happens on a fair basis. And no matter how much everyone tries to tell you they're not biased and so on, you're still human, and you can't really do away with all that bias and, you know, towards your friends and all that. Claiming that you can do that 100% is just not true. Was some time ago I painted a model that had such refined muscles like this model, itching my fingers. Yeah, the thing is, the Shadespire stuff is really well done, especially with the anatomy. I've been cursing a lot about what Games Workshop does with their anatomy, but those are not too bad. I mean, of course they're overdone, hugely overdone, but they're pretty defined and all that. Except that one that's holding the severed head, that one's just horrible, and I don't know what they did. They basically ignored that part, and his biceps is literally coming out of his forgot the name, trapezius. Mr. Nobody, just saw your channel a couple of days ago. Keep up the good work. Greetings from Italy. Thank you. Many greetings back to Italy, and hope you keep watching. So, still in a bit of a dry phase with the content, but once I have my obligations done, I should be uploading a lot more content. Looking forward to that already. So this is now a bit too white for my taste, maybe, even though it's probably better that way. So let's not fall into the trap of trying to get too much yellow into that again. I'm just going to try to work with the edges and then maybe shade the grooves a bit more. Okay. For some reason I'm not hitting the mark today, but yeah, that's why I wanted to start with this area back here. And I'm going to be, oh my, what's wrong today? I'm going to be putting in some lines like this to simulate tissue. Oh my, that scared me. If there's no sound, no music. Thanks for the host, Grenda. Very kind of you. So yeah, like I said, guys, go give Grenda a follow. Don't know his schedule anymore because I'm super busy with stuff, and I kind of had to give up following or watching Twitch streams. I'm only watching when I do editing, but yeah, even that is a bit scarce at the moment. There were a real big difference between the vote amount and the final results. Is the online voting public somewhere? Do you have a link to that? That would be interesting. I didn't know that it is public. So that is new to me. Did you already try the airbrush painting? Well, what exactly do you mean? I have not painted much else. I just did a private class for one of my Patreons, but that was about Sky Earth metallics with a brush. So yeah, that's still the progress that we are at from the last stream. And I haven't really been able to touch anything else, so I have not airbrushed in the meantime, no. Also, again, unless I have a project like a larger bust or something like that, again, where it fits to do the airbrushing, probably not going to do much airbrushing in the next time or in the near future. Gotta take the opportunity when you stream. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks again. Okay, so also toning down the white a bit. Let's see, I'm probably going to try, I don't know, we could do some blood or maybe mud or whatever to texturize that a bit more. I'm okay with having jury with open voting pools. What bothers me is that they say something and then it's another way. Yeah, you know, that's the thing, right? You can never be sure. In the end, it could just be, okay, well, please come over and show something new and we're going to make sure you're going to win, you know? I mean, I'm not accusing because I am so far detached from anything that goes on Cool Mini or not, and in the US in general, painting-wise. Simply because I don't really have the money to even, right now at least, to even dream about going to the US for stuff like that. For events like this. So I'm kinda, you know, uninformed, but yeah, I mean, it could very well be just a promotion thing, and in the end it's nothing too dissimilar or you know, with Games Workshop and their Golden Demons, it is all a giant, what's the name, advertisement and publicity stunt for them too. So why would Cool Mini or not do it, you know? Worship City Fight. Do you try to make every model extremely high quality, or do you also... Yeah, so I don't do the single most similar to an army that I painted was my Confrontation Warbands. Those were like 5 to 13, 15 models. And I, you know, there I took a few shortcuts, but I'm usually trying to go for the highest quality. With this one, the same as the Black Templar that I did for the Evia Metal video, I'm going to do another one of these for that one. I'm trying to stay under 20 hours. With the Black Templar, it was 16.5 hours, I think. But yeah, here I wanted to go a bit more all out on the non-metallic, so that took up a bit longer. But yeah, in general, the thing is the best quality that I can do. You know, sometimes I don't really want to invest 40 hours in something like that, so I'm taking a few shortcuts. But in general, yeah, the video footage is supposed to be for you know, intermediates and people that want to learn to get better. So yeah, I don't paint any armies or stuff like that. Dave's World, just found your channel, great content. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad people like it, and I have been happy that, you know, I'm getting about 20 subscribers per day on average, which is, I'm pretty happy about that. So eventually we should hit the 10k subscribers on YouTube. which is going to give us the community options, and then I'm going to definitely try to make something out of that. And yeah, I mean, slowly grinding, you know, the exposure up, so it's gonna take a while still, but eventually we're going to get there. And you know, it's a small segment, but even in the small segment, the channel is still not that well known. It's still have a lot of work in front of us, but we're trying our best. No need to thank, I love your stuff, and you do very good tutorial videos that you share with people, so lots of respect. Thanks, Grandler. Like the bronze non-metallic one a lot. Yeah, thanks for that. The so I'm probably going to put out, you know, after 3 months or something like that. I think that one was from November. I'm going to put one of the Patreon tutorials out for YouTube, so that, you know, people can also learn something if they can't afford Patreon, but, you know, also for advertisement purposes, obviously. And then I'm still going to do the whole 101 series and heavier than metal stuff for YouTube. And yeah, just whatever content comes around, I'm going to release on either of the platforms. Also, I'm working on a video about dilution and paint consistency and all that, so that's going to be next on YouTube for free. I just haven't gotten around to finish the last footage. And I'm also not 100% sure if my script is good. I mean, as far as planning what I want to record goes. Because I always want to record as much as possible, and then the videos get long, and yeah, we will see. Still debating with myself what I'm going to put in there. Okay, Granda, bye-bye. Thanks a lot for the host and all that. I meant to solve some other sculptor using only the airbrush, so I thought it was the best way to paint, but then I saw you with regular brushes and it looks really good, so I'm confused. Yeah, so I should not say that, because I always get, you know, an airbrush is a lot of the time people paint with airbrushes and they don't know a lot about quality or hues of paints and what you need to do to create the contrasts needed and all that. So while the initial, I mean, it depends, right? There's also really adept people out there that can do a lot of stuff with the airbrush, but the majority doesn't have the knowledge to finalize the sculpts and the painting in a way that they really pop or look incredible and all that. So it is a fast way to get color on something and to have decent gradients and all that, but beyond that, there's just not enough knowledge about painting and contrast and composition and all that. So I'm happy I learned how to paint without an airbrush, simply because when I was around, airbrushes were not a thing for miniature painting when I started painting. So yeah, I'm happy I learned all that. Doesn't mean that I'm super perfect in everything I do, but and that you cannot achieve it with an airbrush. But yeah, the promise of an airbrush being the means to all ends does not keep up with reality. So, but yeah, if people, especially when they do time-lapse stuff and all that, just want to quickly finish models that they sculpted, then yeah, definitely. And you know, then there's Don Lanning and whatever other people are in the industry of Hollywood and are posting to YouTube. They are definitely more adept with painting with airbrushes and all that. Hey Dirty Miniatures, how's it going? Can you paint some cool tribal tattoos per chance? You mean on this guy? I was thinking about doing it for this one. So because he's pretty huge green canvas. I thought about maybe having the tattoos come from this side, because on this side he's well, the bird is sitting on his shoulder anyway. But yeah, I thought about that. I don't know if they're going to be cool. Maybe they're just, you know, tribal tattoos in my style, so I don't know if that is considered cool. But yeah, I thought about doing that. But of course it's a larger scale, because that miniature basically fits into his face. So I don't know what exactly you would like to see, but I'm definitely going to try it. So steady, I've been on platform 8 years myself. It's nice to find people that still post painting tutorials here, as most of the older channels have gone only Patreon. Yeah, so
How did you find me?
who's that? BG Illusion. I hope I didn't slaughter your name. Welcome to the stream, and thanks for following. So I mean, the thing is, I need to do Patreon stuff to earn money, because the way that I wanted to do it was YouTube only, and then, you know, get you know, every 20th subscriber to pledge $1 or something like that. Then that would eventually make a living. But I just cannot spend wait, ever should be a tool to help, but only for fine details. Brush can achieve the details on something that scale. Yeah, for sure. I mean, for the details, detail-wise, definitely. I need a different chat. This is not keeping up. Oh, there we go. Okay, what did I say? So the airbrush for detailing is not a thing anyway. So for detailing, you definitely need brushes. But you know, it's not the only thing. It's all those things that I mentioned that sometimes people that just airbrush miss out on, and simply don't know, and probably don't even see. So yeah, like I said, I'm glad I learned how to paint with a brush and create hues and define volumes and all that with a brush. What about just an orc tattoo? Yeah. I mean, the I don't know what the difference is between tribal tattoo and an orc tattoo. But oh, like a faction head, okay. Yeah, we will see. I'm going to do something with it. I mean, I definitely have to plan it off, you know, on a piece of paper. I'm not really good at painting something freehand-wise without planning. So, yeah, going to plan it out and then put it on the miniature. Sandohack? Sandhawk, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You're welcome, Marina. Awesome greens, thanks, Sturdy. Thank you. Hey, Dodek. Hey, Angron. How's it going, guys? Freehand in general scares me, so good luck to you. Thanks. But yeah, I do have some experience with freehands. Don't really have a finished one around, but that's usually something that I enjoy doing a lot. So freehands in general are what I really enjoy, but you know, they're not always. So when I'm recording freehand stuff, I'm usually not streaming it, and like I said, when I'm recording it, I take about an hour-long session and not longer, because painting freehands for the camera is really straining and energy consuming. Let's see, what else do I have here? Don't really have. Wait. I mean, there's the Black Templar. I don't have any. Oh, I do. Hold on. Just give me a second. So that's a really old entry. I think I took that to 2009 Games Day, 2010 maybe, in Germany. So that's one of my older freehands. Has been fun to do. You know, I kind of like the more sharp stitched type of freehands. And then I did a bit of a simpler one here, just for the shoulder pad. Yeah, also back here, same thing. And yeah, those videos are also on Patreon. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So the thing is, I can't really create content without having a bit of a backup, because content creation takes a lot of time. So for a video that needs painting, you know, and I want to paint, for example, for one of the heavier than metal videos, that easily takes, you know, 30 hours to film, and then another 10 or 12 or even 15 hours to edit into a tutorial that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, for Patreon, and I mean for all the videos that I create, I easily take 40, 50, 60 hours per week. And you know, I can't do the amount of work of a full-time job and, you know, just do it as a hobby. That just won't work. So the question is, do I try to make money with that content creation, or do I not do it at all, you know, and work a different job? And, you know, since I like to do content creation, I kind of have to take all channels. So that's why I need to do Patreon. But I also I want to produce as much free content as possible. So once the Patreon also pays off to a certain degree, I can put more time into content creation, and I can also put in more time into free stuff. Don't do travels, it was a joke, I'm a jokester. Okay, so I'll never take anything you say for granted, right? Travels was universally considered a joke. Okay, sorry, the joke passed me by. Hold on. Let's add that. Where is it? I posted it on the Discord. Let's see. Open link. No. Save. Desktop. Joke. Get back to streaming software, add picture. So I definitely need that picture, because it happens to me all the time that jokes pass me by. Where is it? Add picture. Joke. Desktop. Hold on, I'll be back to answering questions in a second.
How did you find me?
Thanks for the follow, Viking444. How's it going? But yeah, as far as the joke goes, it passed me by, sorry. Hey Vladimir, thank you. Tabletop Cat. I learned quick streaming creative is much. Oh yeah, you quickly learned streaming creative is different. 4-hour sessions max. Yeah, I used to stream like 6 hours a day, but it's not really feasible. Also, usually the content that I do, people can't really or don't really like to watch it for 6 hours. So most of the people, you know, because we are trying to do the high quality stuff, and people kind of get, you know, they can't focus. Well, it's not calling people out, or it's just a simple fact, right? You can't really focus on something for 2 hours, you know. You can't really focus on me painting this gold thing here for 2 hours, and it just takes that long because, like I said, the goal is to produce the most quality. So it's hard to focus on that, and yeah, but that's what I want to do. Vladimir, material. Do you mean the paints or what this figure is made out of? The figure is made out of plastic. It is a Games Workshop miniature. It's not sculpted myself. This one I did sculpt myself. So I do, when I sculpt, I like the larger scales. And when I do sculpt, I sculpt in Super Sculpey Firm. But this one, like I said, is just from Games Workshop. It's plastic miniature. Sorry, I'm not used to talking that much. There's a lot of questions today, which is good, thanks. But I need some water in between. I watched a gentleman from Italy paint 1/8 scale primer to finish with oil pastel powders. Okay, one of the greatest pieces. Yeah, so those people, you know, obviously have a lot of knowledge about colors and contrasts and composition and all that. So in the end, it's not really a thing of medium and what you're using to put the color down. In the end, it is the knowledge that's behind it about colors and yeah, all that knowledge that you need to trick the eye into believing certain things and all that. Twitch YouTube streams are a bit weird as you're answering to separate conversation groups that cannot see each other. Yeah, but I don't want to put it on the screen. If Twitch alone would generate as many questions, then okay, that would be fine, you know. But this is twice the amount of questions that I can answer. And yeah, it's been successful so far, so you guys will have to live with that. And I'm usually reading the question, so you know, if we could get to 100 views on Twitch regularly, then, but we can't, so I'm totally taking everything that I can. And I'm not talking about money, but, you know, obviously reaching as many people as I can. Okay, so let's go back to our bandages here. I'm going to try and mix a bit of brown into the blackish gray there. Hey Tap, how's it going? So yeah, if you can't deal with that, then I'm sorry, but again, it is double the people, so I definitely want to take that with me. Right, so I'm going to shade down a lot of these areas that are next to another piece, in this case the armor. In the front, also going to do a lot of black lining or dark lining up here, bringing that back. We lost that, for example, here, I think. And again, this is going to add a bit of a different hue to the bandages, tying it together with all the other elements. I have no idea, to be honest. I've not set them to put ads, but I can't promise they don't, so I only push the play button on my, or the stream button on my OBS. So in a way it's a fire and forget missile. Okay, so as you can see, this adds a bit of brown and some yellow hues too, where the sepia gets diluted. So that's something that I want to achieve. And of course we forgot to press a button up here. So yeah, sorry, my camera is EU fabricated and I think it's also an older one. So I can only set it to 30 minutes recording. So usually what I do is I press a button so that the timer resets, but sometimes I do forget, so apologies for that. But the improved video quality is definitely worth it. You can see all the errors and mistakes that we do. You think the wraps make the lower leg look a bit too thick? So I'm not happy about the wraps at all. I wish they did not do that, but yeah, because of the, I mean, what you said is one of the reasons, definitely. Also, it's a bit of, you know, what are they supposed to be? Is it leather wraps, or, you know, I just wish they wouldn't do it as much as they do. But again, I have a suspicion that Games Workshop sculptors just put everything that they can, that they know how to do in every single miniature. But yeah, they definitely look really thick. The HICC, definitely. Okay, so here I kind of forgot to paint this. I'm going to shade this a lot to start with. And then, yeah, so also here I already had to make this plate a lot thicker than it is. It kind of stops in the middle of where that is, simply because Games Workshop can't do any undercuts, and that just looks a tiny bit weird. Okay, so maybe dark line this even a bit more. Yeah, so just increase the contrast even more. And yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of these wraps. But yeah, what can you do? Okay, so just going to apply a rather subtle wash over the whole thing. To draw it together and tone down the white a bit so that it doesn't appear too much in your face. But yeah, also when we're going to do the base, it's probably not going to be in focus so much, because I want to do some barricades in the back, and then the focus should probably be on the front anyway. Painting a playable army to showcase is doable for this game. Oh yeah, definitely. It's like I said earlier, the when I was painting, or when I was playing Confrontation, that was also a warband style game, and it's definitely possible. The thing is, the question is, are you going to spray coat them afterwards, after you painted them, to protect them? And I haven't really found any good matte varnishes over here, so yeah, I'm probably never going to play with a painted miniature again. But yeah, guys, if you're watching, don't forget that maybe you have a Twitch Prime token that didn't renew. So subscribing with Twitch Prime is free. It doesn't cost you anything apart from, you know, what you give Amazon. But Amazon Prime for me was totally a given because I'm subscribing to people anyway, and it's only just the cost of subscribing to one person for a year. So it's basically for me it was free shipping on top of the people that I subscribe to on Twitch anyway. Okay, so yeah, gives us a bit of a spotty finish. Some areas look a bit more yellow than others, and we definitely have the shading and highlighting done with this part being a bit darker. Maybe we can go a bit further than that. Make this even darker. As it curves down. Okay, blacklining this a bit more. Wow, that scared me.
How did you find me?
So streaming without music. Falcon Punch Drunk, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I really, without music, I need to be less jumpy and focused. So guys, don't scare me. Don't follow. So I don't know how to pronounce that. Sepulchral card set for Shadespire made the crystal brush cut. Really? I mean, the thing is, like I said, I don't think the crystal brush quality this year was that dense, you know, that intense. So yeah, the way the game plays, you could risk using them without protection. You know, the thing is, you will still. So if you put them on a base, wait. So if you put them on a base, the thing is, this is still thicker than a base, and so you have to navigate down to the base to move them around like this. What you're probably instinctively going to do is grab it somewhere here, and then the you know, the fat in your fingers and the structure in your fingers is going to rub off paint regardless. So I'm a little bit scared. Hey Seitsu, how's it going? How are you doing? But yeah, again, I mean, I was playing with confrontation miniatures that were not varnished as well, so and they were metal, so when they fell over, then you definitely lost some paint. Thought the same about Crystal Brush, but I don't know, perhaps my memory smooshes some of the previous years together. Again, I don't follow it that intensely, and I could be wrong too. But you know, maybe it's never really that. I mean, the thing is, how many? America's still a large country, right? The US is a large country, and not everyone's going to go there. And just because there is 10K prize money doesn't mean it's the best, biggest event in, you know, in the world. So Monte San Savino definitely has a higher standard, 100%, and also more higher level entries. And there's no prize money, so maybe we are mistaken, and the Crystal Brush never has that much of a high quality each year. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, Ben Comets does a piece for Patreon, right? And goes to Crystal Brush and makes first in his category without even promoting it and so on. You know. So, I don't know. Could be an indicator for the quality. Not saying that he is not good at painting, but obviously it's painted on camera, and we all know that painting for the camera is a bit of a quality decreaser. I had a class with the guy that painted the Shadespire. What's his name? Durability with paint and plastic is 100% or 100 times better than on metal. Yeah. I actually think the price money puts people off. It could be. I mean, I wouldn't say no to. What's the first price? Is it 8K, 7K? Or is it 5K? I don't know. I would definitely take it. You know. That means I could paint for like half a year without worrying too much. Oh, as they, okay, I see what you mean. As they assume at least a few people will bring a 600-hour piece. Maybe. Maybe, but I'm guessing if you bring a 300-hour piece, you will still have a good chance to win, regardless. So, yeah. Anthony Wang, does not really ring a bell. 10 classes on Adepticon. I think I can see the difference between US and Euro styles. Yeah, you definitely can. So the thing is, US is always a bit more game focused and single, you know, not single, but the lower scales and all that. It has been really difficult to sell busts, for example, in the US. You know, just painting for painting's sake is not really that established yet. The painting miniatures is always tied to playing games. Well, not always, but is more tied to playing games in the US than it is in the EU. If the painter is only wargaming focused, yeah, exactly. So I think since the ever since 2000, I would say, I want to say about 20 years, the focus in Europe has been on painting single miniatures and, you know, showcase painting and all that. And there has been a lot of people developing their styles ever since then and all that. So the scene for painting to showcase standards is really huge in the EU. And while there still is one in the US, I don't think it's as big. Okay, let's dark line this area just to increase the contrast there, and then I think I want to move on from this area. He taught a class teaching art applied on miniatures. Interaction of colors very in-depth. Yeah, so stuff like that, right, is slowly gaining traction in the US, but there was not a lot of focus on it. As much as there was in the US, in the EU. And this is not a who's better thing, it's just a different culture. So a lot of the French painters in the early 2000s have been driven by art to try to, you know, bring knowledge from art to miniature painting. And then the Spanish kind of picked that up and saw that it was awesome and developed their own style. For example, Afonso Geraldes, I think. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. For example, was a big proponent of that. or at least the early one that I remember. Might be others too.
How did you find me?
Porkboy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Atlanta. Oh yeah, he's doing a US tour, right? So I think his workshops, if you're interested in just trying to learn as much as you can about color theory and color interaction, and you know, just painting more carelessly, then that class is one of the best classes you can take. So yeah, we wanted him to come over, but he was the person that contacted him. He kinda was not that friendly to him, so that guy just stopped trying to get him over. I don't know how much of that is true, but that was just what was reported to me. Okay, one more thing that just drives me a bit crazy is this part. I just want to distinguish those parts. But yeah, the knowledge that he has is something you definitely want to tap into, and his view on things, and by things I mean painting, obviously. Sounds interesting. Your Adepticon was mostly spent in painting classes. I mean, the question that I have is, what else is there to see if you are interested in painting? And that's an honest question. I was never there and don't know what's going on. Honest question, like I said. I guess what I would do is just hang out with all the people that I know from the earlier days of painting, or from my earlier days of painting, like I did on every single games day in the past and so on. So yeah. Okay, getting sidetracked a bit. What was I going to do? I think I want to start the face next. Yeah, of course they are displayed. So yeah, what good would be a painting competition if you would not have the things displayed? Okay, so let's see. I want to add a ball to that, and I want to see if this is maybe savable, because ever since I'm using that color, it's not properly mixed. Now, since we have like 300 of these, let's do that. Let's see what the result is going to be. Kind of crowded. Yeah, that's always the thing with it depends, you know, on how safe people want the miniatures to be. So over here, there's in Germany, the Duke of Bavaria. They have good cabinets. Well, it's not cabinets, it's just shelves with lighting, and you can stand in front of the miniatures, and usually everything is fine. I think there was a few damaged pieces last year, which was a pity, but so yeah, I don't know how the culture is there at Adepticon on display pieces, and how disciplined people are in not touching them or moving them around or whatever. Hey Ulrich. I think even in Monte it's also the same. You can go there and put your nose like this close to them, as long as you don't touch them or turn them around or whatever. Do you have an example for red plate mail or armos? What? What's an armos? Yeah, there's going to be a YouTube video. I mean, not YouTube. There's going to be a Patreon video about this at probably tomorrow. I finished editing it today to 95%. Colonel Sander, thanks for the follow. Welcome around. How's it going? Okay, now of course the tip is clogged. Let's just clean that. Whoop. Don't want to screw that up. But yeah, I'm starting off of a Vallejo color because the scale skin colors are not really that good for starting skin tones. They are better for yeah, when you are moving into the highlights and all that. But for starting them, they're not really that good. Get a vortex mixer, saves your wrists. Yeah, so I have been trying to get one. I just don't want to pay 60 euros for it, and that was the cheapest one that I can get. So if anyone has knows of cheap vortex mixers, I'm definitely looking into that. I feel like knowing not to touch stuff that isn't yours. Yeah, you do, but trust me, not everyone does. Okay, let's see. I totally don't know how far up we went with this color, so I'm carefully going to add a bit of a highlight color in strategical places. Yeah, so I definitely have to do the eyes. I will have to do off stream because that's just too crazy. I need my magnifying glasses for that. That just notes to someone that is rude than anything. Yeah, again. You would hope and wish that people know what to do, but sometimes people don't, unfortunately. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely rude. Don't get me wrong, but again, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to behave around miniatures. Okay, so that should desaturate our skin tones a bit. That was the plan. So now we have an interesting base to progress off of. Just going to apply this as a bit of a mid-tone back here as well. Okay, then next, going to add some red to that mix. A blood angle red or angel red? I don't know. I mean, is this blood angel red? Is it? Yeah, no, I don't know. I've never painted a red space marine, if that is the question. Okay, that's not red. That is brown. So I'll do this instead. use some blood red. Sometimes display shelves have don't have proper lighting. I'm sorry, I always say lightning. It was a common complaint about Golden Demon in previous years, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's also still a complaint. I'm 100% sure. If you go to any Golden Demon, it's still a complaint because they don't give a shit. They just put a display cabinet there that's dimly lit, and then, you know, just good luck in seeing anything. I struggle with highlighting the shit. Yeah. Welcome to painting reds. But yeah, you have two options. Hold on, I'll give you the two options in a second. I just want to lay down my reds back here. And also on the cheeks. Have a bit of a pink red. Also around the nose. To draw this all together a bit more. Okay, also the temples. Okay, this should make the whole thing a bit more interesting. Maybe we can also just apply one layer onto the lips and maybe the tongue too. Have a bit of an interesting color to work off of. So, yeah, I need a vortex mixer from a laboratory. There's you know, a used one would be ideal that they don't use anymore, to get it for cheap. I think there's something like that around that is made with miniatures in mind, but that one was really expensive. I don't know exactly how much it cost, but it was too expensive. It's like that whole wet palette thing for $60 or whatever it was. So I still mean to read that article about foaming in acrylic plastics. Third option, learn to love pink peach highlights. So, two things I learned when painting reds, or that I do to create credible reds and interesting reds, and, you know, don't struggle too much with, okay, this looks too pink or this looks too orange. The first one is shade everything with black. Go to black to increase your contrast. If you can't go light enough, then use black. Also increases contrast, right? You can go either really high or really low. Eventually you're going to maximize out your contrast while still looking interesting and not too pink, and like Tab says, not too peach. So here I did that. I went to black in the shadows, so that way I didn't have to go all the way up to a pink or an orange. Then the question is, do you prefer pink or orange? And in my case, I just wanted to have a bit of a colder highlight on the reds, and I was aiming, or therefore I was using white in the underpainting. And on top of that, I just applied a few layers of, I don't know, maybe it was blood red, could have been blood red, to just tone the pink down, and that's basically it. So you also want to try to keep your mid-tone alive as much as possible. I think my mid-tone was red, and, you know, don't cover everything with pink right away. Try to be subtle in your highlights. And then just glaze over it again to tone it down into that mid-tone. That's my approach. If you look at some blood angels that are really well done, Those people usually paint the same way. They keep the mid-tone alive, then they have subtle highlights that are slightly pink, and then they do a lot of shading with black so that they increase contrast. That is the options that you have. Any other approach where you have oh my god, where you have a mid-tone that's not really mid-tone, well, where you use red as sort of a shadow color, you know, a dark red as a shadow color instead of black, then you have to go lighter, and then you are in the pink orange variety, and those reds usually don't look good. Let us face it. I have the feeling that if I set white reflexes, they have to be really light. Yeah, and why are you not doing it? So you can subtly, you know, instead of mixing pink or, you know, red and white and it turning too pink, you can can totally do like light glazes. I'm not going to do it, but you can pick up white. You can pick up white and, you know, make a super fine glaze out of it that's just barely visible, and then, you know, just paint a few like these on. You can barely see them where they stop being, you know, glazes and accumulate a bit. You can see those dots. You can definitely try to do that. Obviously you're not going to do this because that always looks stupid, no matter, I mean, always is maybe a bit harsh, but just using pure white on anything that is not the white directly is always going to look odd, or that is not supposed to be like white clothing or gray clothing, right? Or whatever material you want to be white. Okay, where was I? I was doing the skin tones. So I was about here. Let's see. Just going to bring out some of my gray skin tone again in that area. Okay. I think I'm going right into adding, what is that? Light flash. Let's keep struggling. Yep, indeed. Let us keep struggling. Maybe a bit more pink, but I definitely want to go lighter quickly. Let's see how that looks. And again, always trying a lighter color in an area that's supposed to be really light anyway, so the back of the nose is a good place for that. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that, so we might as well also highlight the cheeks. Carefully. because I want the lower parts to still have most of that pink in them. Okay, let's see if we can do the eyelids without screwing up too much. Yeah, definitely need my magnifying glasses. Maybe that works with the setup. Let's see. Okay, we just need to refocus up here. Okay, forehead. And of course the chin. And don't forget the upper lip. Maybe that's a bit too light already. Okay, also make this area a bit lighter, just a tiny bit. Because obviously this area just below the cheeks is going to be darker and more red. But as we go further down, the light catches on a bit more. Okay. Right, so just going between the first highlight color and our base color, I'm just going to touch some of these areas too, around the mouth. And something that we lost, for example, here below the nose, I want that to be a bit more pink again. Just to have more focus on facial features. get a bit more color into that face. And just using sepia really helps with that, because it tones down the colors, doesn't make them appear too pink, for example. Look enhances the professor archetype. Good. Hopefully not the nutty professor, because we have a lot of that. So the brushes I use is, I almost exclusively use Raphael 8404. I have Winsor & Newton for testing, I have Da Vinci's for testing, I have Broken Toads for testing. Broken Toads, for example, where are they? Have I not? Oh yes, I do. So Broken Toad, the best one in my opinion is the size 2. The others are a tiny bit too small, but the size 2 definitely has a good tip. My second favorite brush, like I said, is that Broken Toad. Then I have, like I said, the Winsor & Newton is okay. But they are too expensive for my taste. You can get that quality for cheaper, for example, in the Raphaels. Something that worked that I can't really say a lot about longevity are the Da Vinci's. There's different series. I don't know, series 11 and series 10 is what I have. They work, but I don't know how long they work. Then I have a few cheap ones. Those were like €2. Also work. Don't last as long, definitely not. And yeah, again, my favorite brush is the 8404, size 0, size 1, both work. I have one that is about a year old that I have somewhere here. Yeah, so after a year they start giving in, but I have been a bit sloppy with cleaning them, so that tip, while still okay, is not the optimum anymore. But again, I also use them for larger surfaces where the blending just has to be quicker and where I don't want to blend like this, but there I can really blend with the tip. You can't really do that with a super fine brush tip that has never been used. Yeah. So yeah, 8404, they last me the longest usually. Okay, let's see, I want to make the eye sockets a bit darker. Let's see, find a bit of a different position here to work with this. Right, just making the eye sockets darker, like I said. Okay, yeah, that definitely worked. Hey Simon. Simon? I think I might have been pronouncing you wrong for the time. Okay, go back in, bring back some light. So it's going to a highlight, then adding a shadow color, and then adding back a highlight again, or shadow color, or better to say a color that tints the area. Can either be used as a shadow color, obviously, or as something to introduce another color, definitely. Right, then this part of the forehead should also catch more light. And let's also put a layer up here. But this I don't want to get too light on. And yeah, sorry, I'm going to focus a bit here. So if you have any questions, type them and I'm going to answer. Or, you know, comments, whatever you want to leave in the chat. Leave it there and I'm going to come back to it when this is done. This is definitely a situation where the teacher is in front of the blackboard and writing down something, noting down something, explaining something, and where he turns his back on the class. Most dangerous teaching situations ever. Okay. So overall, we want the forehead obviously to be kind of hard to get the focus on this. Already all the way down. Right. It's the best we can do. Have to go. Goodbye. Goodbye, Marina. Thanks for hanging out. Whispering behind the teacher's back. So the thing is, sometimes you don't even want to hear what they're whispering, you know? Kind of like, yeah, I know that you are doing stupid stuff behind my back, but I'm not even worried. Don't even care at this point in time. Okay, being a bit shaky here. Stop that, please. Okay, painting that area a bit lighter. Probably has to be toned down a bit, since this is like the upper lip and should be red. One thing that I was thinking about was to give this guy the appearance of a skull. I think we might still do that, but first I want to just try and see how the just normal skin tones and the face is going to look. But yeah, in general, just sticking to the rules of painting a face, having some red below the cheeks and also creeping up to the cheekbones, and then having some yellow in the forehead is what we are going to have to add. And the beard is going to receive a bit of a treatment with some bluish gray. And in order not to touch too much, I'm sort of dipping my brush onto the surface. So just the very tip. And also doing the same then here, more subtle. Because like I said, this is an area that should receive some highlights, but I don't want to go too light too quickly. Okay. Let's mix in more of that. What is it even? I forgot. Light flash. And just cover the areas that are facing upwards, and it should receive the last highlights. Want this to cover a bit more. Okay, going to use that carefully. Don't want to overdo it. But definitely want that color in for the increased contrast. Just on the highest areas of those parts of the face that are exposed. And the thing is, I kind of don't like the corn symbol on his forehead. I don't know what to do with that. Meh. So let's see. Yeah, I haven't really decided what to do with that. Either way. Either way, I want this part between the eyes to be a bit darker. Also, there's a part below the eyes that should be darker, I guess. Like here. Yeah, so this definitely increases the feeling of having a skull face, so maybe we're going to go for that idea. But, whoa. Rest in peace, brush. Yeah, so I'm also going to do the teeth now. That's too black. So I need a bit of a gray. I don't want to go to white right away. And with bigger faces, what you're usually doing when the teeth are visible, you are, you know, the more in the shadow teeth, the teeth that are more in the shadows. So further back are receiving a darker gray, and then as you come to the front a bit more, those teeth get a lot higher. And lighter and wider. So I'm starting off with a gray. I can't actually tell if there's teeth visible down here. I think there is. Let's carefully touch these with the same gray. That was a bit too much. Okay, it looks rather subtle, so let's add a bit more white for the ones in the front. Okay, I think I'm fine with that. Also looks rather interesting. Going to use that gray. I think maybe we should use a bit more of a bluish gray for the beard. So blue gray mixed with some black. Are you planning on giving him any fillings? You know, there's an area that I could touch with maybe one hair. That will make it look a bit rotten, but no. Right, but I still want some black, I think. And let's carefully add some beard shadow. Actually, I don't want the glasses anymore for that. You know, so one thing that we can try is mixing that gray into some of the pink red. That way we get a gradient that is not as harsh by just stippling on a color that hasn't been really in the hue. But like this, we do get the reddish pink that is in the hue. So just a tiny bit diluted with the gray, and I think I like that. Definitely like how it looks. So this is going to need, wait, we need to fix the focus. It's not fixed. Okay, yeah, that makes the face looking really interesting. And I think I'm going to also apply that color. Where was it? Like here. I think I'm going to apply that color up here so that it looks like he was just shaving his head. That should fix the problem that I usually have with how to paint skin up here. Okay, I should definitely add this a bit more subtly. So that you don't see any brush strokes or coffee staining. And yeah, I still don't know what to do with the corn symbol in the front. Any ideas? Yeah, just gradually adding that hair. Well, shaved hair to be more precisely. Just stippling it on, trying to tint the head in a gray with the color below still shining through. And on top of that, I'm going to paint another highlight, but it's going to be a grayish white highlight. Whoa. Didn't want to do that. Maybe a good idea is to paint this as scar tissue. We have to do the scars in the back anyway. So I'm going to go and see how, or to find a good color for those scars here in the back, and then adapt that to the scars, or just paint the corn symbol as a scar. Could try and do that. And yeah, I always want some black in that gray, because otherwise it looks too blue and that can look irritating if you are trying to simulate hair color. Cool dead, oh my god, I hope you're not really dead. 89, thank you for the follow, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, I think it's coming together nicely. The again, the eyes I'm going to paint off stream for not screwing them up. But other than that, I think the yeah, the hair color, the grayish pink on the head, it does work. Just need to get it more yeah, more uniform. So for example, back here we still have a bit of a problem, but I think I'm going to cheat and apply a bit of a pink, a dark pink. Yeah, still need that blue. I'm really dead inside, oh no. Dead on the inside. Why are you dead on the inside? Don't forget, girls are not everything. Is this for a specific game? Technically it is for Shadespire. Well, not technically, but the miniature is from Shadespire. However, I don't play the game. I just enjoy painting miniatures. But yeah, Shadespire is like a skirmish game, I think. Skirmish board game. Not I think, I know. Yeah, inside the Games Workshop universe. Okay, I really need to find that color again. It's getting a bit annoying. I think as long as there's some of that blue and some black in it, we are fine. Okay. Yeah, I really like how that turned out. So having a bit of yeah, more orange face. Maybe some darker shadows here. And then having the sides of the jaws get a bit lighter again. That should work better. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is. I also, some friends of mine are playing it because they're playing every game that is out there when it's related to miniatures, and they also said the rules are kind of cool. So again, this is just hearsay, but they really enjoy it. So I'm guessing it is a good game. So let's see, going to do the lips. Have you had any thoughts as to how you will base this fine gentleman? Actually, yeah. So I'm going to use this base here. It's a bit on the smaller side, but on top of this I'm going to do a barricade. So I have a bit of a piece of wood here that I want to use that I don't know where it is now. This might work, but I have a bit of a different one. Oh no, where's my piece of wood? God damn it. Oh, here it is. So I'm definitely using this piece of wood, and then I'm going to cut these into pieces. They might be a bit rough. We'll see. So this is going on here. And it's going to be bent to the outside a bit. Okay, this camera setup needs to change for when we do the basing. So something like that. Also has some good tree bark. I'm probably just going to shade that down a bit. And then I'm going to add like barricades that are tied to it with yeah, some fine thread. Obviously in the scale it's going to be looking bigger, and yeah, so that it looks like a barricade, but it's really torn and has a bit of a wasteland feel to it. And then I have some of these that are not optimal, like I said earlier, for that. They are just stirring sticks from McDonald's. So I'm going to rough these up a bit so that they show some texture, some wood texture, and then I'm going to add some to the base so that he has something to stand on. And then on top of that I'm just going to add all kinds of foliage and, you know, just smaller stuff like this. Maybe somewhere that has maybe grown over it, or maybe it comes out of the tree or whatever. And foliage and all kinds of grass type and all that. So yeah. Hey Charlie Cruz, great work. Would like to know what white you use from the eyedropper bottle. It's called Aero Color Professional. It says acrylic ink, and it's super white, super white. So I really like it for its properties. The only thing that I don't like is that it is it's drying slightly shiny. Can't really see it in these parts because it's too small. But let's see, maybe back here. Does that show? No, we toned that down pretty good. Yeah, so if you use it pure, it dries a bit shiny, and that contradicts the whole approach of scale colors being not shiny at all. But for its flow, the way it flows and still being opaque enough, like one pass opaque, which you usually only get from acrylics by, you know, artist acrylics. For that, I still like it, and it helps with my painting approach, which is a bit more dynamic, and, you know, I just move the brush like that. Helps a lot. It's gonna look awesome. Yeah, let's hope so. I just have to see. So overall, I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I still need an idea for, like I said, the corn thing in the front. I really wish I cut that away, because I don't like that scar. It just takes away too much focus from the face. What could we do here? I mean, we could make it golden, but did they just throw some gold on his face? I don't know. Any ideas, guys? Let me know. I'm just going to hit the toilet quickly. I'll be back in a second. Oh, you're welcome, Charlie Cruz. Any other questions, just go on asking. I can answer every question about colors and so on. But yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Thanks. So I want to add a little thought to your last time discussion about talent. My thoughts were that with painting it is even less genetics than in sports, for example, because the brain builds its structures on the things you train for. So are you saying because you don't use your muscles as much? I don't know. I want to say having the right movements of your hands, you know, for example, is also muscle and how do you call it? Like tactile. I'm really stupid at the moment. I don't know the word. Help me out, guys. Hello, nice painting. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but thanks a lot. The precise factor, yeah. So like really filigree movements. There's a word for it. I can't even think of it in German at the moment. Like fine-tuning of your movements and all that, you know. That's also a factor of translating what you can do cognitively to the body. It's not that much different from sports. I mean, obviously, you know, there's more factors in sports where you also have to do that quickly and all that. I don't know. I don't think that there's much fine motor control, exactly. Feinmotorik in German. Thanks for that. Yeah, it requires as much muscle memory as any sport, exactly. So I am pretty sure that that is a thing. But I don't know if that was your argument or that was where you're coming from with the argument. But I would really not distinguish it too much from each other. It's just maybe a bit of a different way to learn things. But yeah, there's a layer of not just fine motor control in this case, or having the right movements in sports, but there's also the added layer of, you know, being strategic, being a strategic player in any sports, for example, or knowledge about, you know, certain arts or certain ways that the brain works when you perceive art. So those are layers on top of of the actual just creation of what you are doing. So let's see, I want to darken this. So hopefully, let's see, also adding some pink again. So hopefully we're going to be able to outline this corn symbol in a way that allows us to highlight it. Okay, up here, that's definitely touching the hair. So I need to make that lighter again. Man, I really wish I was doing something else. Oh yeah, so not muscle memory, but fine motor control. Well, muscle memory is a part of that too, right? So motor control goes into your muscle memory, definitely. Spend a little time as a subject in a clinical research project where the research team tried to retain muscle memory and then watch the changes in brain patterns while carrying out exercises while on a CT scanner. Interesting. I think I disagree with the motoric factor. Sure. I mean, can you explain why? It would be interesting. I don't think there's any comparative studies on that subject. I mean, maybe there is. I would just guess there's similarities between the two. Okay, stupid corn symbol. I already hate it. Boo-hoo. Okay, so now it's somewhat visible again. Also, at this point, I want a really pink color for my for the scars back here. Part of the research identified that retaining smaller muscle groups like the hands was more difficult than retraining major muscle groups. Oh, I totally agree with that. From experience too. The quality of a paint job is mostly in the composition. The execution becomes less and less important. Yeah, but yeah. Again, you know, there's also a way to apply. I mean, so basically what we are talking about is if you know where to place a highlight, or you know, just with the piece that Roman Gruber painted, where he was just, that I posted on my Discord, where he just placed the highlights and the shadows, and it's just basically brush strokes and dots and all that. So that is composition, right? But you also kind of have to apply the color correctly. I'm not saying it has no influence, or you know, the muscle memory is the most influence and so on. So they of course they work together, but I'm guessing, you know, they still have, on top of what you have to know in an intellectual way, maybe you still have to have the possibility to apply that brushstroke in a way that's helped by your motoric abilities. Wait, for some super fine details I agree, but that doesn't make the overall picture. No, it doesn't, but it adds. I'm 100% sure about that. I wouldn't say, you know, there's probably definitely one is more important than the other, but they are definitely working together. Okay, so something that I forgot. kind of want to add that back. So I don't know why, but I have an area here that I haven't really touched, and it looks like he has a bit of his hair ripped out in this area. So let's quickly add that back. Also, for some reason, this baking paper is coming apart. Okay, so that looks better. Maybe slowly adding another layer on top of this. Or carefully, not slowly. Just changing the direction of the brush strokes a bit. The long-term goal of the project was to develop rehabilitation strategies for people suffering traumatic amputation, soldiers who had lost body parts due to IED. Don't know what IED is right now. What's a bit like saying impressionist artists produce better work than a technical portrait artist, for example? Wow. No, not better. Again, I think it's they're still placing the right pixels in the right place, right? But the technical portrait artist just has better resolution in the end, I guess. Red armor. If you miss a bit of the head, just say he has alopecia, yeah, or just a scar or whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely going to detail this out a bit more. So some gray, some lighter gray, maybe here as part of a reflection or light reflecting. And yeah, we can also paint a scar or something like that. So something that's super effective in this is if you just take some pink and paint, let's see, we can try that. Am I happy with this so far? Let's see. Yeah, just take some of that pink that is below the hair color. Let's see, I just want to get that somewhat opaque. Right, so just painting a bit of a scratch here. Don't want it to become too thick. So something like that. Maybe a bit too thick on the edges, or the outside rather. So something like that. It looks super effective because it looks like he has a cut there where the roots have been destroyed. Just for illustration, right? Yeah. Improvised explosive devices. Okay, I see. Thought it had something to do with explosives, but I couldn't place the rest. But the thing with improvised devices is that they are not as... So I'm talking out of my butt right now, right? But the thing with those is that they are, you know, built sloppy and are not as probably destructive as professional explosives. So they leave people disfigured and dismembered more often instead of just outright dead, right? Oh no, we're getting demonetized. We said the word dead. need to tag it as satire, then we don't get demonetized. Okay, so carefully adding some reflection points. Well, first of all, a lighter layer on top of that corn symbol. I really don't like it. Who had that idea? Okay, and then let's go lighter. Will you do something with this bone structure on the back? Bone? You mean like the scars? Yeah, I'm going to paint them pink and then just highlight them with white. Wow, yeah, don't like that at all. How does it even look on camera? Doesn't look that bad, but I don't like it at all. Oh, got scared. Time to put the child to bed. Dota first. Oh my. Dota first. Okay, don't forget the tongue. I'm going to add a lot of, well, a bit of red. And then some darker red, and then I'm just going to mix in skin tone here. Let's see how that looks. Just so that it's a bit lighter than the rest of the mouth. Yeah, we're okay. Okay, but I think I'm going to call it here. Let me just check something. Okay, yeah, so I'll end it here, and I'm probably going to try and set up the camera for the base building and be back, but I'm going to end this for the VODs. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.